The night after WrestleMania 41, the world was still reeling from the showcase of the Immortals, where Roman Reigns was in a brutal triple threat match against his bitter rival Seth Rollins and his one-time friend, CM Punk. But the real drama exploded on Monday Night Raw. This wasn't just a defeat. It was a public execution. The apparent architect of his downfall, the man who knew every secret and every weakness, was his own wise man, Paul Heyman. Heyman, who stood by Roman for years, orchestrated a shocking turn by aligning himself with Seth Rollins. But the betrayal didn't stop there. As Reigns reeled, he was hit by a human missile spear, not from him, but at him, delivered by the monstrous Bron Breakker. Rollins and Breakker then systematically dismantled the fallen chief, a brutal assault designed not just to injure, but to humiliate. This was a calculated strike to write Roman Reigns off television, and it worked perfectly. So, how in the world did we get here? How did the most protected man in WWE become so vulnerable? To understand the fall, you have to understand the conspiracy. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment attack. It was a meticulously planned coup. First, the motive. Why would Paul Heyman, the wise man, betray the man he called his tribal chief? For Heyman, it has always been about one thing: survival and siding with the next big thing. You have to wonder, did he see the writing on the wall? Did he see the ambition in Seth Rollins and the raw, untamed power in Bron Breakker? Heyman didn't just abandon a sinking ship. He set the ship on fire and climbed aboard a brand new warship. By aligning with Rollins, he seemed to secure his position at the center of power, no matter who held the championships. Then, you've got the accomplices. Seth freakin' Rollins, the visionary, has been one of Roman's greatest rivals. Their history is long and storied, and for Rollins, this was the ultimate checkmate. It wasn't just about winning a match. It was about tearing down the monument that was Roman Reigns and proving he was, and always had been, the superior architect. He didn't just want to beat Roman. He wanted to own what Roman had built. And then there's Bron Breakker. For the rising powerhouse, this was his initiation into the main event. You don't make a name for yourself by beating mid-carders. You make your name by taking out the biggest dog in the yard. His devastating spear to Reigns on Raw was a message to the entire locker room. A new apex predator had arrived, and he was aligned with the most manipulative mind in the business. The attack on Reigns was his ticket to the top, and he cashed it in spectacular fashion. With Roman Reigns gone, a massive power vacuum was created, and chaos immediately filled the void. The Bloodline, once the most dominant faction in WWE history, began to eat itself alive. Solo Sikoa, Roman's enforcer, saw an opportunity not just to step up, but to take over. In a move of ultimate disrespect, Solo began calling himself a new leader, even taking possession of the Eula Fala, the sacred necklace symbolizing the role of tribal chief. He exiled those who wouldn't fall in line and recruited new, more ruthless members to his side. The fractures went even deeper. The family drama that had defined the faction for years exploded into open civil war. With rumors flying that even The Rock might be making moves against the family's interests, the message was clear. Without Roman at the head of the table, there was no table left, just scattered, warring tribes fighting for the scraps of a fallen empire. This internal collapse was a direct result of the conspiracy. With the king dethroned, the kingdom descended into madness. While the Bloodline was imploding on screen, Roman Reigns was completely off the grid. His absence from WWE programming was deafening. But make no mistake, this was a deliberate strategy by WWE. Keeping Reigns off television served two critical purposes. First, it allowed new stars like Bron Breakker and the new-look Bloodline under Solo Sikoa to develop without being in Roman's colossal shadow. It gave them room to breathe and establish themselves as genuine threats. Second, and more importantly, it built anticipation for his return to a fever pitch. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder. In wrestling, it makes a comeback legendary. While off-screen, rumors flew. Some pointed to real-world business, with reports suggesting that WWE's parent company, TKO, was looking to renegotiate Reigns' massive contract due to his part-time schedule. This blend of storyline and reality only added to the mystique of his disappearance. Was this just a storyline injury, or were there bigger things at play behind the scenes? The longer he was gone, the more the legend grew, and the more fans craved his return. And that return is no longer a matter of if, but when. Roman Reigns has been heavily featured in promotional materials for SummerSlam 2025 at MetLife Stadium. WWE isn't just hinting at a return. They're building a blockbuster storyline around it, one that is expected to reshape the entire company landscape. The question is no longer if he will return, but how. What version of Roman Reigns will we get? Will it be the vengeful tribal chief, returning to reclaim his throne and punish those who betrayed him? Or will it be a different man entirely, humbled by his fall and perhaps seeking new allies? The list of potential targets is a who's who of WWE's elite. At the top of that list are Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Bron Breakker, the masterminds and enforcers of the plot against him. A collision with this new, powerful faction seems inevitable. Then there is the matter of his own family. A confrontation with Solo Sikoa for control of the Bloodline feels destined, a battle for the title of tribal chief. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes his impending return so compelling. He isn't just coming back to a familiar landscape. He's returning to a world that was reshaped by his absence, a world filled with new enemies and fractured allegiances. So what do you think will happen when the original tribal chief returns? Will he go after Paul Heyman first, or is Solo Sikoa his primary target? And who will stand with him in the war to come? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. The destruction of Roman Reigns was not a random act of violence. It was a cold, calculated conspiracy designed to remove the most powerful piece from the chessboard. Paul Heyman's apparent betrayal, Seth Rollins' ambition, and Bron Breakker's raw power created a perfect storm that toppled an empire. His subsequent vanishing act allowed a new world order to rise from the ashes, a world where his own family turned against his legacy. But now, the head of the table is on his way back. His return at SummerSlam isn't just a comeback. It's the first shot in a new war. The board has been reset, the battle lines have been redrawn, and the entire WWE universe is waiting to see the first move. So the final question is this. When Roman Reigns returns to the world that cast him out, will he be coming to reclaim his table, or will he be the one to flip it over once and for all?